Again, we pay homage to the Gautama Supreme Buddha, the Blessed One. Sadhu, sadhu. We pay homage to all the Arhants, all the enlightened, liberated monks, sadhus. We pay homage to our teacher, Swami Mahansi, sadhus. Okay, so we can go to the Deep Dhamma Sutta today. Do you remember the main sutta we were studying? It is the Kuṇḍaliya Sutta, and there Buddha taught this Dhamma to a wanderer named Kuṇḍaliya, and we discussed about sense restraint. Buddha taught about sense restraint in detail. Why sense restraint so important? Because sense restraint is, when it is developed and cultivated, it leads to the fulfillment of the three kinds of good conduct. Remember?
Yes, Bhante.
And
Yes.
and so we were learning about the three kinds of good conduct, and before we wanted to learn about three kinds of bad conduct, right?
Yes.
Because understanding the three kinds of bad conduct definitely helps us to develop three kinds of good conduct, because we know what is wrong, what is right. So we need to avoid what is wrong, what is misconduct, and we need to practice what is good conduct. So last time we learned about three types of bodily misconduct. Do you remember? In brief, what are those three kinds of bodily misconduct?
Killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct.
Sexual misconduct. So we talked about them last time. And today we are going to learn about 4 kinds of verbal misconduct. Who is going to read?
May I read, Bhante?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the 4 kinds of corruption and failure of verbal action? It's when a certain person lies. They're summoned to a council, an assembly, a family meeting, a guild, or to the royal court and asked to bear witness. Please, mister, say what you know. Not knowing, they say, I know. Knowing, they say, I don't know. Not seeing, they say, I see. And seeing, they say, I don't see. So they deliberately lie for the sake of themselves or another, or for some trivial worldly reason.
So that's lying. That's an example for lying. That's the first verbal misconduct. Can you continue reading, please?
Yes. They speak divisively. They repeat in one place what they heard in another, so as to divide people against each other. And so they divide those who are harmonious, supporting division, delighting in division, loving division, speaking words that promote division. They speak harshly. They use the kinds of words that are cruel, nasty, hurtful, offensive, bordering on anger, not leading to immersion. They indulge in talking nonsense. Their speech is untimely and is neither factual nor beneficial. It has nothing to do with the teaching or the training. Their words have no value and are ultimately unreasonably rambling and pointless. Untimely, reasonable, rambling, and pointless. These are the 4 kinds of corruption and failure of verbal action.
So here there are 4 types of verbal action or verbal misconduct. First one is lying, Second one is divisive speech. So in that case, you use words to divide friends from each other, to break their friendships. And you have that intention of dividing people from each other. And you have these thoughts of delighting in division. And after you say something, you see that friends are divided. And when you see that, it makes you happy. So that's called delighting in division, loving division, speaking words that promote division. And even when there is some conflict or some problem, and when other friends ask you advice, and you advise in a way that promotes division, not promoting unity or forgiveness. And thirdly, Buddha teaches the verbal misconduct is harsh speech. And this is the nature of the harsh speech. The words that are cruel, nasty, hurtful, offensive, bordering on anger, not leading to immersion, means not leading to the unification of the mind, peace of mind. So all the words that make others angry, all the bad words that the people use in the society, or calling names for people, any word that makes somebody angry, and they don't like to listen to that, they don't like to hear that, it's unpleasant to their ears, and that those words lead to fights and quarrels, disputes. And yeah, basically, when there are those words, there is no a pleasant environment around. It's something bad is going to happen, and people are hurt. Those kind of words are called harsh speech, and they are also categorized as verbal misconduct. And the other one is gossip or idle chatter, unbeneficial words. There's no value, unreasonable words, pointless talks. So those are the 4 kinds of verbal misconduct. So now you can understand, we cannot just use our mouth with whatever thoughts that come to our mind. You can, but next time you're going to lose words. That means you cannot talk next life. You see animals, they don't have words like we use. So you won't have words. So this mouth, our mouth, and the ability to talk is a gift from our good karma. In our past lives, we have practiced speaking the truth, promoting friendships, avoiding divisions among people. We have spoken pleasant words, so everybody likes to hear and pleasant to their ears. And we also have spoken beneficial words, and that's the gift, that's the good karma, that we have the ability to talk nicely in this life. So we have to understand that, and if we use our mouth in a bad way in this life, we are creating our own destiny right here. And next time we will be a fish, so no words. We will be a bull, no words. We will be a serpent, no words. So we are creating our own destiny. And before becoming an animal, basically the 4 kinds of verbal misconduct leads to rebirth in hell. Buddha teaches lying leads to rebirth in hell, divisive speech leads to rebirth in hell, harsh speech leads to rebirth in hell, gossip leads to rebirth in hell. It's not simple. It's not a we don't take our this the good karma of ability to talk. We don't take it for granted, and it's a very serious thing. What kind of words we send to the world with this mouth.
Bante, I have a question.
Mhm.
There's what we call white lies.
I thought that you are going to put me in trouble today too.
White lies is to the benefit of other people, so that they so to the advantage of the other people. Well, yeah. So what can you say? Is it justifiable? It's still a lie, but then it's for the good.
If anybody has the intention of cheating somebody, intention of lying, and you know that you are telling a lie and the other person will be cheated for whatever reason, even though the ordinary world categorize it as a beneficial thing for this person, beneficial for that person, and like that, karma doesn't get categorized like that. If the person has the intention of cheating somebody, whether you say it is for the benefit of somebody, no, karma doesn't accept that. If it is a lie, then you make bad karma.
So, Bante, example that there are people who are hostages. Okay, so there is a bad person. Okay, let's say somebody wants to rob the bank, and so all the bank tellers, all the staffs, okay, they were all hostages, and then the robber
can't put me in trouble today too.
The robber said, "Who knows
we don't need to go by incident,
the password of the safe?"
But if we have the intention of cheating somebody, we are breaking the precept, and it's better to die speaking the truth, because that death, speaking the truth, will take you to a better world. But if you protected yourself, or if you protected somebody else by speaking falsehood, you will end up in hell. So
even white lies. Okay, thank you, Bante. I understand.
Bante, we don't necessarily have to tell the truth, but we should not tell lies. Will that be a correct statement? In some circumstances, it may be beneficial not to tell the truth.
Yeah, you can decide. But you shouldn't speak words with the intention of lying, intention of cheating somebody. What?
For the harsh words, can you maybe help clarify the scope of that? Like, as a parent, maybe I find myself scolding my child, and sometimes maybe I'm speaking more harshly than I should, but is that sort of crossing that? Like, at what point have you crossed into?
Yeah, so basically to recognize harsh words, it's basically they come from a hateful heart.
So coming from a frustration maybe is borderline, or kind of troublesome, or maybe not a violation.
Like, as parents, we can say those words are rough, not nasty or cruel. Right? And they have this inner, that like limitless, like they have this what do you call
unconditional love.
Yeah, like parents have that in their heart. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the words come as rough and strong words, but they are not nasty words. They're not cruel words. They're not harmful words. But if some words come in a way that you are angry, that's bad. Because when you are angry, even to your parents, you will use bad words. Because you are angry, you are mad. And that even for a parent, that become harsh speech, and you make bad karma. You can't say, oh, no, I told that to my son, my daughter, I wanted to correct him or her. No, you can't say that, because it comes from your hate.
Right.
So when we understand, when we study these 3 kinds of bodily misconduct, 4 kinds of verbal misconduct, 3 kinds of mental misconduct, total 10. They are called 10 unwholesome things. We shouldn't forget that Buddha has taught there are 3 roots of unwholesomeness. So these are the 10 unwholesome factors. So the root cause for these 10 actions, the root is threefold. Without this threefold root, you cannot engage in bodily misconduct. You cannot engage in verbal misconduct. You cannot engage in mental misconduct. So these 3 roots of unwholesome are very important. What are these 3 roots of unwholesomeness? Lobho akusala moolam. Greediness is a root of unwholesomeness. Because of greediness, you will engage in bodily misconduct, verbal misconduct, and mental misconduct. So when you do something, and if that is unwholesome, and if you go to the root of that action, you will see very clearly, oh, because of greed, he killed. Because of greed, he stole. Because of greed, he engages in sexual misconduct. Because of greed, he told a lie. Like that, you will see that unwholesome root very clearly in the background of that action. And the second root of the unwholesomeness is doso akusala moola, hatred or anger. In your life or in somebody else's life, if you investigate, why did this person say this? Why did this person do that? And you will see very clearly, oh, he did that because of anger, because of hatred. So even as a parent, you said something like using bad words to your children, and you understand that it's because of my anger I spoke those words. Yes, that's counted as verbal misconduct. Sometimes rough words come from parents, but there is no inner hate. That's a good thing. That's a wholesome part. Like our teachers, our parents, sometimes monks, these strong, rough words come, but there is no inner hate. They still have this inner compassion, kindness. That's very important to understand. And the third root of unwholesomeness is doso akusala moolam. The Buddha teaches delusion is the third root of unwholesomeness. Some people,
sorry about that. Do you mean moho?
moho.
Moho.
So some people, you see some people, they kill. Maybe they kill because of a wrong view, to do an animal sacrifice or to do this and that, but delusion, hatred, there maybe a mixture of all these things, greediness, hatred, delusion, but an action becomes an unwholesome action because it was created by these 3 roots of unwholesomeness. So let me repeat the three roots of unwholesomeness: greediness or desires, hatred, and delusion. Those are the 3. Lobo, doso, moho. If an action is a wholesome action, Definitely it is beneficial for you and beneficial for others. How to recognize a wholesome action, a good karma action? Definitely in the background of that, or that action is based on the roots of wholesomeness. There are 3 roots of wholesomeness. Alobho, kusala moolam. The first root of wholesomeness is generosity. Because of generosity, people help others. People do lots of good things by their body. That's bodily good conduct. People help others. People take care of sick people. People take care of parents. They avoid killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and mental misconduct. It's because of generous thoughts in their mind. That's alobho. And some actions are done with the second root of wholesomeness, are those who kusala. Loving kindness, compassion is the root of wholesomeness. If it is a good action, wholesome action, you see, it has arisen from a compassionate heart, a heart of loving kindness. And you notice that, then you can come to a conclusion. This is a wholesome action. My words are wholesome. This is verbal good conduct.
Bante, do you mean adoso kusala mulang, Bante?
Yes.
Adoso.
And the third root of wholesomeness, if you do something good that is beneficial for you and beneficial for others, and you accumulate good karma, it's because of the third, your action is based on the third root of wholesomeness, and that is amoho kusala moolam. Wisdom is the third root of wholesomeness. In the background of your action, there is a base, that is the wisdom. You did that because of your wisdom. And that wisdom is based on right and wrong actions, wholesome and unwholesome actions, merit and demerits, and based on the teachings of the Buddha. So you had that wisdom. That's why you did that. Isn't that a very straightforward, amazing explanation about how to distinguish between wholesome actions and unwholesome actions?
Yes, Bhante.
That's an incredible description.
Mhm.
Because now you don't need to go to somebody and ask, Bhante, I did this. Is this wholesome or unwholesome? You have the mechanism in your mind.
So Bante,
You can go gradually, you can go backward and you see, before I did this, what was in my mind? Before I said this, what was in my mind? Before I thought this, what was in my mind? What is the root? Was the root wholesome or unwholesome? There are 3 roots. There are no more than 3. No more than 3. Even though you do hundreds of good things, millions of good things, billions of good things, trillions of good things, they come from 3 roots. You cannot add even a single more. If you did something bad, something unwholesome, something harmful, hundreds of them, millions of them, still they come from 3 roots. That's the discovery of the Buddha. And if you or anybody can abandon those 3 roots of unwholesome, what will happen?
abandon.
From somebody's mind, all the 3 roots of unwholesome is abandoned.
So you're in the path to awakening then?
So you do only good actions. You speak
Yeah.
only good words. You think only good
Good
thoughts. Your life
thoughts.
is full of beautiful, noble qualities.
Mhm.
That's the life of the enlightened one. If you like to know what kind of life is an enlightened one, enlightened monks and nuns, understand from that.
Mhm.
Whatever they do, whatever they say, whatever they think, all coming from wholesome root, either from generous heart, either from compassionate heart, either from wisdom heart. So there is no regret, no remorse after doing it, after telling it, after thinking it. So like how many times we regret our things, right? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I shouldn't have told that. I shouldn't have thought like that. How many times? But for the enlightened people, that kind of feeling never comes to them because their whole life, all the bodily actions, all the verbal actions, all the mental actions are only based on wholesome roots. Isn't that amazing? And
Yes, Bhante.
that's how they can live like remorse-free life, guilty-free life. Only peace. Think about after doing something, after telling something, after thinking something, how much pain comes to our life? It's because not others. It's not the fault of others. It's because we did that action, we said that action, we thought that action based on an unwholesome root. So be careful. If you are careful before doing something, before telling something, before thinking something, if you are careful to check what is the root. If you like a habit, if you do this, it can be done. Buddha said that in the Ambalakshika Rahulovada Sutta, it can be done. It's called purification of the actions. If you like habit, if you train your mind like that, before you do something, tell something, think something, you will be able to get rid of lots of grief, anxiety, regret, remorse, doubts in your life. Okay, so that's about our speech. And we learned about 4 kinds of verbal action. Any other questions?
So Bante, the sila, good virtue, so we classify it under wisdom, right? In this case. Okay. Thank you. Bante, thank you.
Good. Any other questions?
I've got a question, Bante. They speak harshly, they use kind words, cruel, etc., bordering on anger, not leading to immersion. What does immersion mean?
Yeah. Asamadhi sangvattaniko means when somebody hears that word, it destroys the peace of that person's mind.
So immersion is the opposite. Peace.
Yeah. No, immersion is a translation for concentration.
Okay.
Yeah, but the general idea here is that if that is a harsh word, as soon as you heard that, your peace is gone.
Right.
That's the meaning.
I see. Thank you, Bante.
And so if we understand the Buddha's teaching very well, we will cut off a vast amount of words we speak normally. If we understand the danger. Like sometimes you heard something about a friend from another friend. If you are not mindful, you will go to the other friend and when you were talking something else, and suddenly these words come from your mouth and you say, you know, that person that day he met me and he told this thing about you, and it's too late. But we need a sharp, very sharp mindfulness about our words. And if you practice that, you will see how much control you gain about your words. And it will be like a habit. The mind will remind you, okay, I shouldn't tell this. If I were to tell this, it is true that this person will develop more friendship towards me because of telling this to him. But it's not good, so I should not tell that. And after, like later, when you think, oh, I should, I could have easily said that to that person, but I didn't tell, and because of that, he's happy, and their friendship is okay. Nothing happened. And when you feel that that you made some effort, and you, because of your mindfulness, you avoided telling something bad, and when you understand the consequences of that, of your good action, of your good heart, the good mind, it gives so much joy and happiness to you. Oh, I did a hard thing. What is the hard thing? These words are easily coming out from my mouth, but I restrained, I guarded my mouth.
So it's really like looking after the quality of your own mind, but also thinking about the quality of other people's minds.
Yeah, whether this is beneficial,
right,
for me and for others.
Right. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, on the other hand, if we are careless and if we keep talking and all the bad things about others and all these divisive speeches and this and that, and everything that the other person told about this person, and we disclose everything, and later we feel very regret. Oh, I spoke too much. I shouldn't have told those things. See how these careless words leads to regret and remorse? Like when these action by action, when these unwholesome actions are piled up in our life, that brings us pain, nothing else. It's not an external person gives us pain. Action by action, we have generated this pain in our life. So if we are careful about action by action, before we do, we create our own peace. Peace is not outside. Peace is not external. It is to be gained by, it doesn't give by and create a God, an external person to you. It's gained by through your own mindfulness, own wisdom, own awareness, own compassion, own generosity, your own wisdom. Your happiness is gained by you. Your happiness is generated by you. Is that clear?
Yes, Bhante. Thank you.
Yes, Bhante.
That's the amazing teaching of the Buddha. You are the Buddha teaches, right? You are the creator of your happiness and pain. Don't complain about others. Oh, you destroyed my peace. You destroyed my happiness. You are responsible for my pain. That's not the way of the teachings of the Buddha. Even in the midst of enemies, even in the midst of haters, you can still smile. Your peace is not disturbed. If you follow the Buddha's path, your peace will not be disturbed. But if you don't know that path of purifying your own mind, even you are in the midst of noble people, very good people, very grateful people, very generous people, still your peace is disturbed. Right? Still
Bante,
you will find, okay, are there any good people in the world? I need to go there. But already there are so many good people around you. But you don't have peace. You don't have happiness. Why? Because you don't know the technique. Because you don't know to follow the techniques of the Buddha, how to have peace in the mind, even if you are in the midst of enemies. So
Bante,
please follow this path, and you will be able to live happily, peaceful in the midst of so many problems, so many difficulties in life, so many hardships in life, so many failures in life, so many weaknesses. Still, it's guaranteed that you will still live with a smile, with a happy face, with a light heart, with a relaxed body and mind. That's the power of these teachings. So you like it?
yes.
Sadhus.
Bante,
So we have come to the end of the program.
Bante, I had one question. You know, there's a famous sutta where the Buddha is scolded by some person, and that happens in life. You know, you may be not, you know, you don't want to offend anybody, or somebody comes and scolds you, and that often happens to people in real life. Like the Buddha was scolded, and it was just the ignorance of the other person. So in these kinds of situations, the best thing is to just walk away, Bante, without saying anything, because you don't want to
No, it depends.
have harsh
It depends.
speech.
No, it depends on the situation. I cannot give you a black and white answer because it depends on each situation. For example, in the city of Savatthi, when the Buddha started propagating the Dhamma, lots of people became Buddha's followers. So other religious teachers lost their disciples and followers. So they were very angry and mad about this at the Buddha and the monks. So what they did was they raped a woman and put her body in the behind the kuti, the residence of the Buddha, and then and finally the same people found the dead body and told that this is the Buddha and the monks' work, and then they carried the dead body around cities, towns, and everywhere, saying that these monks are nasty monks. They are cheating people, and like that. So what should we do? What should the Buddha and the monks do? Should they be silent, or what should we do? Okay, so in this case, when monks went on their alms round to collect some food for their bowls, lots of people didn't want to give dana. They were insulting Buddha and the monks because they believed the words of those other people. They misunderstood. And then monks, when this happened, the few days, the monks went to the Buddha and explained what was happening. Bhante, lots of people are insulting us. It's very hard to go begging food. Can we go move to a different village? Buddha didn't ask them to be silent. In that case, there are incidents where monks and Buddha would be silent. That's why I said, like, it depends on the situation. So in this situation, Buddha taught the monks a stanza, a verse, like a Dhammapada verse with 4 lines. And the stanza says, Abhutavadi nirayang upeti. The people who falsely accuse good people are reborn in hell. The people, after doing bad things, close their wrongdoing, saying, no, we didn't do this. Those people also go to hell. In hell, these both types of people become same. That means they are born in the same place. What are those 2 groups of people? People who accuse others falsely, and also the people after doing wrong things say that they didn't do it. Those are the 2 groups of people. And then Buddha added, monks, whenever you are insulted by people next time, read this stanza to them. Answer them with this stanza. And this criticism, these insults will only last for 7 days. Monks, be patient. We don't need to move to any other city. Okay, so what happened was, next time when they went on alms round in the village, the people were still insulting. And the previous days, the monks were silent. Very silently, like looking down, they went back to the monastery. But this time, the monks were not silent. The monks, every time when somebody insults, saying that you raped a woman, you killed that woman, you are cheating people, you are not good monks. When people were insulting, the monks would answer them with this stanza. And then the people started thinking, oh, now these people are telling that they didn't do this. So maybe there is something behind this that we don't know. So the people's attitude changed. And then after a few days, all those insults lasted as Buddha predicted only for 7 days. After 7 days, what happened was, on the 7th day, the king's people found out who did this.
I remember there was an investigation.
Yeah, so then the people got the correct news, and the people realized, oh, this is completely a misunderstanding. The Buddha is very virtuous, the monks are very virtuous, they follow the lifetime celibacy, they didn't do this. Now the other group of people who are jealous at the Buddha and the monks did this. And so they went to the Buddha, and monks asked for forgiveness. And see, so sometimes replying in a reasonable way has helped, and sometimes is the silence. Like when another lady, and she wanted to insult the Buddha, and she what do you call, disguised in a pregnant woman.
Yes.
And went into the midst of people in an assembly where Buddha was preaching. And she stood up suddenly and told, monk, you are teaching to people. I am pregnant because of you. This is your son. This is your baby. You ask your wealthy devotees to support me. Buddha was silent. And when this was happening in the human world, the god Sakka felt it. And god Sakka, the leader of gods, saw what was happening. And he disguised in the form of a rat. went inside that woman's dress and cut all the ties, all the ropes, the fake
Fake
pregnancy.
stomach. Yeah.
And the fake pregnancy, everything, all the pieces of wood, all the pieces of pillows and everything fell off right there, and she started running.
Mhm.
And she couldn't run forever. As soon as she's out of the sight of the Buddha, the earth opened and swallowed her, and she went to hell right there with her physical human body. So yeah, Buddha was silent.
So there, it depends on the situation. So discern the situation carefully and then react
Yeah.
accordingly.
Mhm.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank
Good.
you.
Namo Buddhaya. Bhante, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it true, Bhante, that if you do something wrong towards a virtuous person, that the bad karma from that action is even worse?
Yes. Compared to an action, a bad action done towards an ordinary person who doesn't have that many good qualities, noble qualities. Yes. So doing something wrong against a virtuous person, against an enlightened person, against your mother, father, the consequences are greater and heavier. The bad karma is heavier.
And even towards people you would normally respect, like parents and
Yeah,
teachers.
people who keep precepts.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sangha, the members of the Sangha, the Buddha.
Thank you, Bhante.
Somebody asked, can you kill someone out of metta? Killing is categorized as unwholesome, so it's based on an unwholesome root. Check all the 10 unwholesome, check all the 10 wholesome qualities. Killing is not included there. There are 10 unwholesome qualities, there are 10 wholesome qualities. Learn very carefully what are the 10 unwholesome qualities and 10 wholesome qualities. Killing is in the unwholesome qualities, actions. Avoid killing is in the wholesome factors.
Namo Buddhaya Bhante. This is
Mhm.
Wani. I would like to ask a question, Bhante. So when we share the Dhamma, because we're not enlightened yet, there's some, like there are lots of ignorance inside us, right? So that's why what I understand is when we share the Dhamma, we have to share it based on the Sutta, refer back to the Sutta again. So what happened if we got caught in a conversation or real life problem where we have to advise a friend or someone that we care for how to deal with daily life problem, but then we may interpret it incorrectly? Are we still making a bad merit without knowing, Bhante, in that case?
The question is not that clear to me.
Okay. So basically, if we share the Dhamma without really knowing if it's really
Okay, hold on, Vani.
Yes, Bhante.
Renga, you shared something on the chat box.
Yes, Bhante. I
10
was checking.
wholesome actions.
Yes, Bhante.
So some of the translations are not accurate. So let me explain them as we go along with the rest of the sutta, okay?
Sure, Bhante. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Vani, you can continue.
Yeah. So basically, my question is, Bante, because what we learned last week is if you share the incorrect dhamma, you making a bad merit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, okay, then in that case, if you're sharing the dhamma, then you have to always refer back to the sutta to make sure that this is not your own idea or your own interpretation, right? But
Correct.
what happened if we got caught in a conversation or we trying to give solution to a friend according to what we understand from all the dhamma that we have learned up to this point, but then without us knowing, we may say it incorrectly or not 100% according to the sutta, like quoted it word to word, that causing
So you want to know whether you make bad karma there?
Yes, Bhante. Because it's impossible when you are engaging in a conversation with someone, it's impossible for us to really quote what it says on the sutta, right? So,
but you didn't have the intention to say something against the Buddha's words.
Yes, that's what I meant. But then
okay, so
there is a
so the bad karma is accumulated solely on unwholesome intentions. So if you deliberately wanted to misinterpret the Buddha's teachings, yes, you make bad karma. But if you deliberately didn't do that, but later you understand, oh, I said something like I was confused and I have said not what Buddha wanted me to tell, and that's not the right thing. So it's not that bad karma of deliberately misinterpreting the words of the Buddha.
Yeah, the intention is not bad, Bhante. The intention is actually good, but because of
that's what matters. That's what matters. Intention.
Even though we are still ignorance, because obviously we are not enlightened yet.
Yeah, we are always ignorance, but yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Based on the intention, yes.
Many merits.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Bhante, for sharing this sutta with all of us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Happy, everybody?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Bhante.
Gain more happiness. And finally gain ultimate happiness, okay?
Yes.
So when you become enlightened one day, that's the end of the practice. You know, in the world, normally for other things, there is no end. There is no end. But the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path has an end. So may all of you reach the end.
You too, Bhante. You too.
May all of us reach the end of suffering and complete the Noble Eightfold Path with the help of the teachings of the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu.